Hi there, welcome to edupediaworld.com. You're watching the videos on linear equations in two variable. So in this video we'll discuss about the linear equations, how to solve the linear equation, what are linear equations in two variables. Since we have discussed in previous videos or you have learned in the previous classes about linear equations in one variable, but in this video we'll discuss concepts about linear equations in two variables. Then we'll discuss the ways to solve the linear equations. So again at the end of the video we'll discuss some of the advanced questions and concept, and so we follow the same strategy. Again we'll solve each and every concept, or we'll explain each and every concept through example. So let's discuss our first topic, about introduction to one variable. Now let us recall whatever you learned in the previous classes. You have learned about the linear equation in one variable. So how to form a linear equation in one variable, or how we can solve a linear equation in one variable. Suppose this is an equation 2x plus 5 equals to 0. So to solve this equation you simply need to rearrange the terms. So you have to arrange the like terms to one side and like this. So it will can be written like this: 2x equals to 0 minus 5, 2x equals to minus 5, and x equals to minus 5 by 2. So which is a solution of the linear equation in one variable. Means we have only one variable x in this equation, so we need to find the value of x only. But let us discuss more. If we have equation like this, 2x plus y equals to 6. So when we have two variables, suppose now we have two variables like x and y, so we cannot directly solve this type of equation to find the value of x or y. So we need some more information to solve these type of equations. So these type of equations are generally known as linear equation in two variable, so which we'll discuss in further slides. So let's move on to next concept, which is introduction to two variable. Now we'll discuss linear equations in two variables. Any equation which can be put in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a, b and c are real numbers and a and b are not both zeros, is called a linear equation in two variable. So let me explain you what these lines are saying. Any equation, like suppose we have an equation 2x plus 5 equals to y. Now if this equation can be written in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a and b, these two coefficients should be real numbers, and a and b are not both 0, means they shouldn't be both be 0. Like we can say, suppose if a has value 2 and b has value 0, it is okay. Or if b equals to 1 or a equals to 0, it can form a linear equation in two variable. But if we have a equals to 0 and b is also equals to 0, so these type of coefficients cannot form a linear equation in two variable. So you have to check what these lines are saying. Now suppose we have this equation 2x plus 5 equals to y. So we have to represent this equation in the form of ax plus by plus c. So this equation, if we rearrange this equation, we can write like this: 2x plus 5 minus y equals to 0. So this becomes a form of ax plus by plus c. So clearly if we compare the coefficient of this equation, equation 1, with equation 2, we can clearly see that a can take a value of 2, c can take a value of 5, because a will be this, c will be this. Now y, here we have minus y, so b will be equals to minus 1, because we have to take a coefficient with sign. So these are the values of a, b and c. So this is how we can represent any equation in the form of ax plus by plus c. So this was little bit about the introduction to linear equations in two variable. So let me discuss one more example how we can use real world or word equations to implement the linear equation in two variables. Now, so watch this question very carefully because these type of questions will generally come in the examination. So example is in one day international match between India and Pakistan. There is a international match between India and Pakistan. Two Indian batsmen scored total score of 216. Means there are two Indian batsmen. You can say there is Sachin, whatever be with the batsman, or there can be, you can say Yuvraj. So any batsman can be there. So these two Indian batsmen, they both total in score a 216 runs. So we have to express this information in the mathematical equation. So we have to implement this complete information into mathematical equation. So we have two unknown information. We have two batsmen because we know that both the batsmen scored a total of 216, but we don't know how much each scored, like how much Sachin scored or how much Yuvraj. So but we know the total of both the batsmen. So we have two unknown scores, where that is score of each batsman. So this means we have two unknown informations. Whenever there are two unknown informations, so we have to represent that unknown information into mathematical equations. We generally use equations in two variables. Two variable means we have to take a two variables to represent the two unknown informations. So let's discuss how we can solve this. Now, if we take Sachin's score as x and Yuvraj's score as y, these are two variables x and y. These both are unknown, but we know that that both total score to a run of 216. So this means we can write like this: x plus y should be equals to 216. Means the total of both the batsmen is 216. So this forms our mathematical equation through which we can solve various type of solutions. We can get as many a solution of x and y, which we'll discuss in the next slides. So this is a general form of mathematical equation that we can use to represent any information into equations. So let's discuss some more examples related to linear equation in two variables. Now, the first example says we have to write each of the following equations in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, and we have to indicate values of a, b, c in each case. Means we have to first represent each equation 1, 2, 3, 4 in the form of ax plus by plus c, and then we have to indicate what are the values of a, b and c. Now, the first equation is 2x plus 3y equals to 4.37. So this equation can be written as 2x plus 3y minus 4.37 equals to 0. Now, if we compare this equation with the equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0, which we can clearly see that this equation is now represented in the form of ax plus by plus c. Now, we have to find the values of a, b and c. So for finding the values of a, b and c, we have to compare this equation 1 with equation 2. So which clearly implies that a can take a value of 2. Why? Because we have 2x and we have ax. If we compare both the terms, we get information as a as 2. Then b can take a value of 3. Why? Because we have to compare these two terms. Now c will take a value of minus 4.37. Why? Because in general equation we have plus c, but in the equation we are given to solve, there is minus 4.37. So clearly we have to write c as minus 4.37 since we are comparing the equations. So these are the values of a, b and c for the first equation. Similarly, for second equation, x minus 4 equals to under root 3y. First, this can be written as x minus under root 3y minus 4 equals to 0. So if we compare this equation with ax plus by plus c equals to 0, we get a as 1, b as minus root 3 and c as minus 4. So this is the values of a, b and c. Now the third equation is 4 equals to 5x minus 3y. Now if we move this number 4 to right hand side, we get 5x minus 3y minus 4 equals to 0. So which is the form of equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So we get a as 5, b as minus 3 and c as minus 4. Now the fourth equation is 2x equals to y. So 2x equals to y means this can be written as 2x minus y equals to 0. Now in this part, if we compare this equation with ax plus by plus c equals to 0, we have x part, we have y part, but there is no constant part, means we cannot compare c with any number. So what we'll do in this equation is, we can write this equation as 2x minus y plus 0 equals to 0. Why? Because adding 0 to any number will not change that number, so we can modify this equation like this. So now if we compare with equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0, what we get is a as 2, b as minus 1 and c as 0. So this is the value of a, b and c. So this is how we can represent the equation in the form of ax plus by plus c, and we can find the values of a, b and c. So let's discuss the next example, example number 2. You have to write each of the following equations in two variables. Means we have to represent equation 1, 2, 3, 4 in the form of two variables. Means we have to introduce another variable in each and every equation. So first equation is x equals to 5. Now x equals to 5 means, now how to write this equation in two variable? We can first will rearrange this equation, so it will become x minus 5 equals to 0. Now we need to introduce another variable in this equation to make it a equation in two variables. So what we can do is, we can write x minus 5 plus 0y equals to 0. So you can clearly see that 0 multiplied by anything will make it 0. So when we add 0 to equation, to any number or equation, it will not change the equation. So this equation will be the same equation as this equation. So this is how we can introduce a variable into any one variable equation. So now this equation becomes the form of ax plus by plus c, where a is 1, b is 0 and c is minus 5. So this is how we can convert equation in one variable into equation in two variables. Now the second question is y equals to 2. So we can write this equation as y minus 2 equals to 0, and we can write this equation as 0x plus y minus 2 equals to 0. So this becomes the equation in two variables. Third question is 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So 2x plus 0y minus 3 equals to 0. So this becomes the equation in two variables. We have two variable x and y. Now the fourth question is 5y equals to 2. So this can be written as 5y minus 2 equals to 0, and this further can be written as 5y plus 0x minus 2 equals to 0. So this becomes the equation in two variables. We have two variables, y and x. So this is how we can use the equation of the form ax plus by plus c equals to 0 to represent the equation in two variables, or this is how we can use to convert equation in one variable into two variables. So let's discuss the next topic, that is how to solve the linear equations. Now in this topic we'll discuss how to solve a linear equation in two variables or one variable. So let me discuss once again something more about linear equations in one variable and two variable. Now every linear equation in one variable has a unique solution. Now let me discuss what do we mean by unique solution. Suppose we have equation 2x plus 6 equals to 8. When we solve this equation, we get is 2x equals to 8 minus 6. We get 2x equals to 2 and we get x equals to 2 by 2. So x equals to 1. Now we get, whenever we solve an equation in one variable, we have only one solution, which is x equals to 1, or x can take only one value. So which is known as unique solution. Unique solution means in every linear equation the variable can take only one value. Now when we have linear equation in two variables, we have infinite solution. So let me discuss this equation. 2x plus 3y equals to 12. 2x plus 3y equals to 12. So this equation can have as many as solution they can have. Why? Suppose we can say that x can take a value of 0. So for corresponding value of x equals to 0, what we get a value of y is when we put x equals to 0 in this equation, what we get is 2 into 0 plus 3y equals to 12. So 3y will be equals to 12. Why? Because 2 into 0 equals to 0. So 3y equals to 12. So y equals to 12 upon 3. So answer is 4. So we get corresponding value of x equals to 0, we get y as 4. So we have the solutions of x and y. Suppose we put x as, now we put y as 0. If we put y as 0, what we get is 2x plus 3 into 0 equals to 12. So 2x equals to what? 12. So x equals to 12 upon 2, which is 6. Now we are getting the values of x is 6 and y is 0. As you can see clearly now that x is taking a two values for this equation, that is x equals to 0 and x equals to 6, and y is also taking the two values, y equals to 4 and y equals to 0. So this is why we say that whenever we have a linear equation in two variables, it can have infinite solution. Why? Because in this equation x and y cannot take only unique solution, or they cannot have only one solution. They will have many solutions. So this is the meaning of that linear equation in two variables have infinite solution. But we'll discuss the ways to how to solve how to get the values of these equations, how to solve these type of equation in two variables now. So let's discuss examples related to how we can solve the linear equations in two variables. Now suppose we have to find the four different solutions of the equation x plus 2y equals to 6. Now we have to find four solutions of the equation x plus 2y equals to 6. Now we have equation x plus 2y equals to 6. Now let me discuss. We'll discuss each and everything step by step. To find the solution, the first point is to find the solution of any linear equation in more than one variable or two variables. We need to assume the value of one variable. Means, suppose in this equation x plus 2y equals to 6. So we need to assume the value of whether x or y. Suppose we take, let's take the value of x as 0. Then for corresponding value of x, we'll find the value of y. So what we'll do is we will put the value of x equals to 0 in this equation. What we get is 0 plus 2y equals to 6. So 2y equals to 6 and y is 6 upon 2, which is 3. So we are getting the value of y with corresponding value of x. So this is the first solution of the equation x plus 2y equals to 6. So for formulating or tabulating the solution, what we do is we make a table like this, as we did in coordinate geometry, to represent the variables. We like this. Now we put x and y. We need 4 solutions, so we make 4 boxes: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in the first we'll getting x is 0, so corresponding value is 3. Now we need to find the next solution. What we do is we take y as 0. So what we get is x plus 2 into 0 equals to 6. So x equals to 6. So we're getting the value of x with corresponding value of y. So x is 6 and y is 0. Next what we do is we take any number. Suppose we are taking y equals to 1. So what we get is x plus 2 into 1 equals to 6. So x plus 2 equals to 6. So x is 6 minus 2, which is 4. So we're getting x as 4 and y as 1. Now for the fourth solution, let's take the value y equals to 2. What we get is x plus 2 into 2 equals to 6. So x plus 4 equals to 6. So x is 6 minus 4, which is 2. So we are getting x as 2 and the corresponding value as y equals to 1. So these are the 4 solutions of the equation x plus 2y equals to 6. So this is how we can solve the linear equation in 2 variable. Now let's discuss the next example. The next example is we have to find the 2 solution for each of the following equation. We have to find two solutions of each of every equation, 1 and 2 and 3. So the first equation is 4x plus 3y equals to 12. So for that, what we do is we first solve each and every equation. Now what we do is we'll make again tabulated box for this. So we write x and y. We need 2 solutions, so we make 2 boxes only. Now what we do is now we'll solve for values of x and y. So let's take x equals to 0. What we get is 4 into 0 plus 3y equals to 12. So what we get is 0 plus 3y equals to 12. So 3y equals to 12. So y equals to 4. So for the corresponding value of x as 0, we are getting the corresponding value of y as 4. Now for the next solution, what we do is we take y as 0. So we get 4x plus 3 into 0 equals to 12. So 4x is 12 by 4. So x is 3. So for the corresponding value of y as 0, we are getting the value of x as c. So this is the 2 solutions of the equation 4x plus 3y equals to 12. Now for the second equation 2x plus 5y equals to 0, we need again first need to form a box of x and y. So this is x and y. So we need two values. We need to make only two boxes for this. So again we'll solve the values. Again what we do is we take x as 0. What we get is 2 into 0 plus 5y equals to 0. So we get 5y equals to 0. So y we get as 0. So first value is 0 and 0. But I would recommend you not to take these type of values. Why? Because when you suppose, let me explain you why. Because when you draw these type of values on a coordinate geometry or on a plane, Cartesian plane, we will get this point at this number only. So which will not will be helpful in representation of this line on a plane. So that's why I would recommend you to not to take the values of origin as the solution of any equation. So what we need to do is we need to take another value of x. We suppose we take x as 1. What we get is 2 into 1 plus 5y equals to 0. So we get is 2 plus 5y equals to 0. So 5y will be equals to 0 minus 2. So y will be equals to minus 2 by 5. So we can take this value x as 1 and y as minus 2 by 5. So these are the two solutions of the equation 2x plus 5y equals to 0. Now the third equation is 3y plus 4 equals to 0. Now this equation is not a linear equation in two variable. So what we can do in this equation, we cannot have two solutions. So what we can do is we need to solve this equation directly. So we can write this equation as 3y equals to minus 4 and y equals to minus 4 by 3. So what we getting is we getting y equals to minus 4 by 3. So let me draw the box first for this. If we have to represent this equation in the form of box, or we have to write like this, we write x and y. Now x we are getting as 0 and y we are getting as minus 4 by 3. Now for another solution, what we can do is, let's see how we can do this. 3y, it can be written as 3y plus 0x plus 4 equals to 0. Now if somebody assume that we can take a solution as 0 and 0, if we put x as 0, so 0 multiplied by 0 is 0, and y as 0, so it will not work. So we cannot have the solution of this equation as the solution of origin. Means we cannot assume that origin can be another solution for this equation. So whenever we have a linear equation in one variable, as we have always discussed in the previous slides also, it will have only one unique solution. So these type of equation cannot have more than one solution. That's why we cannot find the two solutions for this type of equations. So you have to be very careful while solving the question. First you need to check whether we are dealing with the equation in two variable or one variable. So let me repeat again. So these type of equation like 3y plus 4 equals to 0 will have only unique solution or one solution only. Now okay, now let's discuss some of the advanced questions which are generally seen in the examination. So you have to watch this part very carefully. The example is, the cost of notebook is twice the cost of pen. We have to write a linear equation in two variables to represent this statement. So we have to write this word equation into linear equation into two variables. So we have to represent this into linear equation in two variables. So let's see how we can do. We have two unknown information. First is the cost and second is the cost of pen. First is cost of notebook and the second is cost of pen. So let's say we can say that let the cost of notebook be X and let the cost of pen be Y. So now we have two unknown information represented in the form of variable X and Y. We have represented the information of notebook as X and the cost of pen as Y. Now if we go according to the question, the cost of notebook is equals to twice the cost of pen, means it is 2 times the cost of pen, means 2 times the Y. So the equation becomes X equals to 2Y, or this equation can be written as X minus 2Y equals to 0. So which is the linear equation in two variables. Now let's discuss the next question. We have to check which of the following are solution of the equation X minus 2Y equals to 4. We have to check that following are the given solutions. These are the values. We have to check which of these values exactly solve the linear equation. Now we have an equation X minus 2Y equals to 4. Now if we check the first solution as 0 and 2, so if we check this solution, we have X as 0 and Y as 2. And now if we put these values of X and Y in the equation, we get is 0 minus 2 into 2 equals to 4. So minus 4 equals to 4. We can clearly see that this is not a solution of the equation. Why? Because when we put the values of X and Y in this equation, we are getting the value minus 4 equals to 4. So we can clearly see that LHS equals to not equals to RHS, means the left hand side of the solution is not equals to right hand side of the solution. So this is not this value 0 and 2 is not the solution of this equation. Let's see for second 2 and 0. Now if we put 2, so what we get is 2 minus X as 2 minus 2 into 0 equals to 4. So which is 2 minus 0 equals to 4. So 2 equals to 4. Clearly again in this solution LHS is not equals to RHS. So again we can say, so this second part is also not the solution of the equation X minus 2Y equals to 4. Now the third is 4 and 0. So in this part X is 4 and Y is 0. So when we put this value in the equation, we get is 4 minus 2 into 0 equals to 4. So we get is 4 minus 0 is equals to 4. So we get 4 equals to 4. So we can clearly see that LHS is equals to RHS. So this is the solution of the linear equation in two variable, means this is the solution of linear equation in two variables, means equation of this number. Now let's check for the fourth value. The fourth is given root 2 and 4 root 2. Clearly for this X is root 2 and Y is 4 root 2. So when we put the values of X and Y in this equation, we get as root 2 minus 2 into 4 root 2 equals to 4. We get is root 2 minus 8 root 2 equals to 4. So we can clearly see that LHS is not equals to RHS. So clearly this is also not a solution of this equation. Now let's discuss the fifth part. The fifth part is the point is 1 and 1. So in this part X is 1 and Y is also equals to 1. So when we put the values of x and y in the equation, we get is 1 minus 2 into 1 equals to 4. So what we get is 1 minus 2 equals to 4. We get minus 1 equals to 4. So clearly we can see that LHS is not equals to RHS. So clearly we can see that this is also not a solution in equation in two variable. So now we have another example which is also a very good example. So you have to watch this question solution very carefully. We have to find the value of k if x equals to 2 and y equals to 1 is a solution of this equation. Means we are given the values of x and y. We need to put in this value in this equation and we need to find the solution of value of k. So let's see how we can do this. We have equation 2x plus 3y equals to k. Now we have x as 2 and y as 1. When we put the values of x and y in this equation, in equation 1, we get as 2 into 2 plus 3 into 1 equals to k. What we get is 4 plus 3 equals to k. We get as 7 equals to k. So we get k as value of 7. We are getting the value of k as 7. So this is how we can find the value of k if the values of x and y are given and the equation is given. So let's move on to the last question of the video, question number 4. Now the question number 4 says that we have to express the following linear equation in the form of ax by plus c and indicate the values of a, b and c in each of the cases. Means we have to represent each and every equation in the form of ax plus by plus c, and we need to find the values of a, b and c. So let's see how we can do this. The first equation is 2x plus 3y equals to 9.35 bar. Now first let me explain what is the meaning of bar. Suppose we have number like this 3.5 bar. This means that 3.5555 and it will continue. To represent this continuation part of a number, we put bar over that number. So that's actually meaning of a bar. Now we can rearrange this equation. We get is 2x plus 3y minus 9.35 bar equals to 0. So what we get is, now we getting this equation in the form of ax plus by plus c. Means we have rearranged this equation in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. Now if we compare these two equations, what we get is a as 2, b as 3 and c as minus 9.35 bar. So this is how we can solve the values of a as 2, b as 3 and c as minus 9.35 bar. How? We have to compare each and individual term with its like term, like this term with this term with this, and this term with this to find the values of a, b and c. Now the second equation is x minus y by 5 minus 10 equals to 0. Now this is already in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So we need not to arrange this equation in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So we need to find the values of a, b and c. So clearly if we compare these two equations, we get this a as 1. Now for b, we are getting the value of minus 1 by 5. Now let me explain you how. We are given that minus y by 5 equals to by. If we compare these two terms, means we can write like this: minus 1 by 5 into y equals to by. We can clearly write that. If we compare both sides, what we get is b as minus 1 by 5. So this is how we compare the equations, and we get c as minus 10. So these are the values of a, b and c. Now let's discuss the third question. The third question is minus 2x plus 3y equals to 6. So this can be written as minus 2x plus 3y minus 6 equals to 0. Now this becomes a form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So if we compare this equation with the equation of the form ax plus by plus c equals to 0, we get as minus 2, b as 3, and c as minus 6. So this is the how we getting the values of a, b, and c. Now the fourth question is x equals to 3y. Now this can be written as x minus 3y equals to 0. Again, we don't have any constant part. We can write like this: x minus 3y plus 0 equals to 0, because adding the 0 to the equation or a number will not change the equation or number. So this becomes the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So what we get is, if we compare these two equations, we get as a as 1, b as minus 3, and c as 0. So this is the solution of the values a, b, and c. So thank you once again for watching this video on edupediaworld.com. Keep watching further videos on linear equations in two variable. Have a nice day ahead.